Hello, YouTube. Why does everybody say that? Hello, YouTube. Anyway, today I'm going to be going over the differences between the Vega Summit 3 and the Stealth, which is made by Vega, Vertice, V-E-R-T-I-C, Vertice, I'm not too sure. But what we have are two modular helmets, essentially doing the same thing, but in very different ways. I purchased the Summit 3 first. This was my first helmet. And as you can see, I've had it, use a Uclear Bluetooth communicator to listen to music while I ride. And one of the things that I liked about the helmet initially was that it had a VCOM Bluetooth you can buy and add on later, but apparently they stopped selling the communicator, so there was that. The other thing that I liked about it, and the other reason that I bought it, I had a Summit, original Summit, was this drop down visor on the inside there. One is something to for the sun. Anyway, let's get into the differences. So, and the reason why I bought the Stealth to replace the Summit 3. Let's start with the first real difference between the two is the latching systems. On the Summit 3, let's start with the Summit 3. On the Summit 3, it is a plastic. Let's see if I can get in here. It's a plastic latching system. Okay? Not a big deal to me. I've heard people say that it's inherently unsafe. Yeah, it is. But again, being my first helmet and the price point that it was at, I didn't mind it, and I took the risk. And luckily, knock on wood, I've been good. The Stealth, if you can see here, uses metal to metal. Inside here is the metal locking latch. So it's metal to metal. And the other latching differences are that the Summit 2 uses a red button on the inside right here. You lift one hand and it comes up, obviously, while the Stealth uses a flip out front, one finger also. And both ways of opening the helmets, they're intuitive. So that's a draw at this point. But the metal to metal latching, big plus. Let's get on to some other differences here. Let's talk about ventilation. Now, the motorcycle I ride, which is a C50T, has a windshield, so I don't get a lot of wind to really judge the ventilation, but you can just see the differences. One of the things that I didn't like about the Vega 3 when I got it was this front vent. The front vent obviously is to let air in the front and to defog your front shield. Well, this affair here is kind of chintzy and cheesy, and it's hard to see when it's open and closed, because it just doesn't seem like it lets a lot of air in. You can see the mesh grills inside of there. The other thing is when you're riding or when you do anything with this helmet, when you flip it open, when you take it off your head, this thing is just not enough positive engagement to keep it open. So when you put the helmet back on to ride again, usually it's closed, and you're wondering why your helmet is fogging up when it's cool. So I've never liked that. And the top vent here, okay, again, another cheesy affair that just moves that much, and it doesn't feel like you're getting in the air. Again, I'm behind a windshield, so it's kind of hard to judge, but I just kind of know that you don't feel like you're getting anything in these little bitty holes. The back, you've got these three Venturi outlets right here. It's I don't know, I just never felt like it got enough air, you know? And I wasn't comfortable with this front grille here. With the Stealth. And again, I just bought this helmet. I just unboxed it. I haven't ridden with it yet. Weather's been kind of crappy here. Take a look at the front vents. The front vents are a little more upright, a little more toward the front. I don't know how much more toward the front you can get. But here's the great thing about this. Positive open, positive close, okay? That thing is not moving no matter what you do. And it has a lot more surface area to let air in. Also, let me go back to this real quick. Now, when I ride this, we'll see. The fogger here on the Summit 3, the air comes in and it looks like it hits the back of the visor here, okay? And then I guess it's supposed to dissipate across the rest of the visor. Well, if you look at the Stealth, if I can get it open here, those tiny defogger vents looks like they just blow straight up and across more of the surface area of the visor. Well, we'll see though when I get to riding it. But that looks like it's going to be a better deal altogether. Okay, so ventilation, we'll see, but it looks like it's going to be better for the front. Now let's talk about the top ventilation on the Stealth. Okay, much more surface area again, and this is a 3-position affair where it's 1, 2. Oh, so that's position 1, 2, and 3, and it has 3 top vents on each side and more of a Venturi surface on the back. Also, what I've been told is that this other outlet right here helps in pulling, sucking all that warm, moist air out of your helmet too. Okay, so let's move on to the visors. The big thing that about the drop-down visor, and let's see if I can get this here, is the way that the visor drops down. This is going to take muscle memory on my part to. I had to learn to drop this one, but the big thing about this one is that it took a little more force. Okay, and you can see I'm not embellishing here. That's how much it took to lower the visor. Okay, so when you're riding and you're fumbling around with it to try and get it down, to stow the visor, it's just a matter of doing that. But as you see, again, it takes a little more effort to bring the visor back up into the helmet. And when you're riding, you just want to be up and down. You know, you don't want to be fumbling with anything. You just want to concentrate on the road. And again, just to drop it like that, a little more effort. Okay, let me show you what they do on the Stealth. Right here, you'll see that there are 2 latches, one to lower and one to bring it back up. It's spring loaded for up. So to lower it, I mean, it's butter, okay? To bring it back up, now this is the great thing. Again, it's gonna take some muscle memory and some learning for me to remember that there are 2 levers here. Boom, spring loaded back up. There's no effort, okay? Let me show this again. Down, flicking this lever to the rear, and spring loaded to the front, back up. Beautiful, okay? The front visors, they were moved in two very different ways. This one was a line up, push, pull, pray to God that you don't break it kind of a deal. I've got another visor for this. It's a tinted visor I bought because, and I'll get to this in a minute, the drop down for this wasn't dark enough. Now this one, you just line up, and I'm not even going to demonstrate on the Summit 3 because it's a pain in the ass. But here you line up these 2 points, and again, I don't know if you can see it, but there's an A and a B. You line them up, you push the center of this, comes forward. I mean, literally 10 seconds, okay? And in reverse, click, boom, you are done. So if you do want to change your visors, okay, it's a lot easier on that than opposed to the Summit 3. Now, the drop downs, you know, for something that's made by the same company, the drop down visors, okay? The drop down visors, I wish I had a little more light, but the drop down visor for the Stealth is darker than the Vega. I would wind up having to wear my sunglasses, my prescription sunglasses, on my rides with the Vega 3, because it just wasn't, the drop down wasn't dark enough. They both stop right at the bridge of your nose. They are both excellent that way, okay? Let's see, what else? Let's talk about the interiors. They're both pretty, they both have fairly good interiors. Both easy to pull out and clean. This one, and this is one of the things, is that when you pull it out, this affair right here at the front, it's kind of cheesy. You have to kind of hope that you get it between here. Oh, let me see on the camera here. Kind of slide it between there, and there's no real positive engagement. And I guess if I had a theme for the Vega 3, it would be no positive engagement. The Stealth, right in the front, there are four locking tabs right here. They put in, you can hear them click. Beautiful thing. They're both washable. They both have, chin curtains, I guess they're called. Wind chins, wind curtains. This one comes out, as you saw earlier. Goes back in. You can see the little notches on those, and stays in pretty well. The Summit, on the other hand, uses a Velcro, which is, I don't know, just kind of cheesy. I've always had to readjust it. Sometimes when I'm pulling the helmet off, the what do you call this thing? The wind deflector comes off, you know? So again, much improved on the Stealth. Now, as you guys have noticed, I've got my Uclear great Bluetooth communicator on it, and that's, one of the things I don't like about the Summit is that before you raise it, you want to make sure that the visor is down. Not a problem with the Vega, with the Summit 3. The pockets, there are pockets where these are in, and you can put your speakers in. So let me give this a pull. It's just buttons. All right, let's see if I can do this here. Some light. Okay. Let's see if I can see if you guys can see that. That's where the speakers go. They fit in absolutely perfect. Okay, and they just cover up, and it has this covering that has holes in it, so you won't be beating your ears up against the speakers. And real quick, the U-Clear, if you don't know about the U-Clear system, it doesn't use booms. The speakers have built-in microphones. That's one of the great things about it. If you have a modular helmet, the way to go. The Vega, I was able to put the see what I was talking about. When you do that, you know, you're always fiddling with it. The ear holes are also there, but they sit up a little higher. See if I can pull this back and show you. They sit a little higher, and there is no covering. There's just this black hard piece right here. So it partially covers the speaker. Not that big of a deal as far as fidelity, and you're able to hear the music and phone conversations. But I think that the Stealth is better if you have Bluetooth communicators, okay? Both of them, the D-rings and the chin straps, are the same. One other big thing is that the Vega, when I'm riding and I'm lowering the front of the helmet, was a two-handed deal where you think you could just push on the front of it and lock it in. That wasn't always the case. It would just move. I mean, this helmet was pretty tight on my head. This is a double, an XL. And I would cinch up my chin strap pretty, fairly snug. So when I went to push on the front of it, I would always have to put my hand back here to kind of latch it. And you think, okay, that's positive, because you're hearing yourself. It's a positive latching, but it becomes a pain in the ass when you just want to up and down, one-handed, and you got to take your other hand off of your throttle to dick with the helmet. Not so with the Stealth. The Stealth is a serious one-handed affair. You're able to one-handed, and it's latched. You would think it would be harder with the metal contact with the Stealth, but it is just the opposite. Profile-wise, they both seem to be about the same height. For me, and I'm kind of a a girthy American, but I'm not really jolly. I had more room in the Stealth, and that's the main reason that I bought it, between the chin guard and my mouth. And I think you can kind of see, if I line them up side by side, that you have a little more room in the Stealth than you do in the Vega, at least for me, at least for my head type. So that was another great thing about Stealth. I will be riding with the Stealth sometime later this week, and I will be giving you a more detailed review. But for right now, just on initial review, just putting it on, it fits great. So thanks for watching, and see you on the flip side.